What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have liked and sub, and let's get into this. Dungeons and Dragons has been through the ringer lately. We've seen all of their founders attacked. We've seen we've seen this. We've seen the orcs turned into Mexicans for some reasons, including the gordita abuelita up there on the rocks, and it's very nice. All the shaved haircuts and sombreros. And thankfully, we've also seen, some of their founders coming out and trying to defend it. There was an alternate that to Dungeons and Dragons, and believe me, it is making D&D look center right now, and that's the company Paizo, which is basically what the OGs of Dungeons and Dragons are responding to today. So if you don't know Pathfinder from Paizo Games, always seen as an alternative to Dungeons and Dragons, the whole premise of the game is a reversion to edition 3.5 when the game came out to 4th edition on Dungeons and Dragons, of course, upsetting people with the radical gameplay as you do. But the company has always been even more woke than Wizards of the Coast, if you can believe it. I mean, pronoun they, them, bugs, anyone? And it is from this company that we see the Paizo's director of games, Jason Bullman, coming to our attention with this post. If Vance has played Pathfinder, I want him to send his books back. No space for fascists in our game. And yes, of course, the implication being that vice president and everyone who supports him, so more than half the country, are all fascists. This is a bad argument to keep making, by the way, especially after you lost. So obviously, they are getting a lot of flack back from this and negative feedback, and some of it is from the OGs of Dungeons and Dragons. One right here, Mr. Robert J. Kuntz, who, of course, the last time we heard from him, he was defending Gary Gygax and the absolutely horrible things that were said about him in the Dungeons and Dragons on like the opening of one of their books, because, of course, we have to make everything old racist. No game company before TSR itself, and those after TSR up until this point has ever indicated that only select players are welcome to partake in and enjoy a game. Gaming is the last bastion in culture of the common folk, and to suggest that all folk welcome in, I probably should have just read it up here, and to suggest that all folk are not welcome in an historically neutral social construct is as dangerous as it is perplexingly anti-social. Yes, and that's, by the way, why they've come. If you're wondering why DEI and all that shit woke has come all the way to tabletop gaming, it's because it's literally the last vestige of real world escape. As much as Paizo and companies like it love to signal that they're diverse and inclusive, it becomes obvious that they don't hold these values whatsoever when they're attacking such a large portion of the country over their political persuasions. You can see here, Alexander Marcris, gamers of all political persuasions are invited to play Acts 2, whether you sided with the Optimates or the Populares, Blues or Greens, he says a bunch of names, Royalists or Parliamentarians, Jacobins or Garodians, Mugwumps or Stalwarts, you are welcome at my table. And by the way, that's what we need. Left or right, center, everyone is welcome, especially when you're selling a product. Hollywood learned that the last 4 years of saying, if you don't want if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book, and if you don't like my game, don't play it. No, they're losing all the money, and even when they reduce good games, it fails. I mean,
that's a lot of damage. How about a little more?
So yeah, nice to see people speaking out more and more, but by God, can we stop with the if you voted for a certain person, don't buy, you're not allowed to be a human anymore. It's just not working anymore. I mean, it never really worked, but now it's just embarrassing. Either way, let me know what you think about all this. Should have liked, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're gonna do that, thank you. And
well, bye.